A couple nights ago, I watched Sleepaway Camp, which came out in 1983. It's about a girl and her cousin who get sent off to a summer camp. We're teenagers. The beginning was simple. I really liked that. It showed us what the camp looks like as the credits rolled, and creepy music plays over it. It's interesting to note that this came out 3 years after the original Friday the 13th. I also really liked that it was simple framing wise and shot wise. I just really enjoyed how the whole movie looked. Regarding the plot and how it's different from other slashers at the time, it features a 14-year-old girl instead of a 16 or 17-year-old girl, and even though it's a minor age difference, it definitely makes it different and stick out from other slashers at the time. The point of view killer shots were really cool. This could have been inspired by Peeping Tom in 1960 or Black Christmas in 1973. The list goes on and on, but it's definitely a little different, and I like that. Something else I found different was that they lingered on each kill. It wasn't like modern day horror movies I've seen where they show it for maybe a split second and then move on. There were many instances where someone would get killed and then they would, once someone finds them, they would show that person's reaction and then go back to the body multiple times and switch between the two. It was interesting. The kills were unique and each person was killed a different way each time, and I thought that was cool. I also feel like the acting was pretty good for what it was. I mean, it was a low budget horror film. I've definitely seen worse. It was still pretty campy, but like I said, everything worked out to its advantage and for what it was. I felt like the killer was kind of predictable. I don't know why. I'm not gonna spoil it because everyone talks about how there's a big twist ending, but I feel like who the killer isn't necessarily the twist ending. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, and hopefully you'll agree with me. I also didn't find this scary at all. I was more interested in seeing how everything played out, which is still fine. I can see why people like this a lot because it was different from the other paranormal, in quotation marks, slashers at the time. It's definitely a human element and it feels very real. A small con regarding the casting is that there were 3 girls, including the main character, who all look alike. Like they have the same facial features and they all have brown hair. And I didn't get them mixed up too much, but I was kind of like, alright, that's a lie. I did get them mixed up a little bit besides the main girl because the 2 other girls really look very similar. So once I got to the big twist ending, I really don't know how I feel about it. I'm really on the fence. I'm definitely leaning more towards not liking it at all, and I feel like it kind of ruined it for me. I'm gonna get into spoilers about the ending, so if you don't want to hear it, definitely click off this video, but if you do want to hear it, keep on watching. So on one hand, I feel like the whole situation with the main character, Angela, being secretly transgender is kind of in poor taste since it's intertwined with her murdering people. Even though it was forced upon her by the aunt in a flashback, you know, she didn't come to her own realization that she was trans. It's just kind of odd to me that this was a choice and that was the twist. It'd be different, I don't know. I just feel like it was kind of for shock factor. And I'm kind of really over movies that just do things in order to shock the audience. And I know this movie's popular for the twist. and not really much else. I just feel like it's very in my book, and up until that, I really enjoyed it, and I feel like there were points leading up to that ending too, but I'm also like, I don't know. I feel like it would have been a different situation if it was revealed in the last act and not the very end. Since it was at the end, it just feels like it was an explanation as to why she's killing people. And I mean, this is a slasher film. Most people don't go and watch one in order for it to be, politically correct. I just didn't enjoy the ending, and I don't have much else to say about it other than that. I feel like if it had a different ending, it would have been better. And then I know the sequels get even weirder regarding the whole transgender aspect. I don't know. It's just in poor taste in my opinion, but I guess I can see why people like it if they're into shock value. But yeah, I really enjoyed it up until the ending. It's worth checking out if you haven't seen it, and I'm sure if you're a horror fan, I'm sure you've heard of this film regardless if you watched it or not, like me. But since it's available on Shudder right now, you might want to go and check it out. You might really like it.